Georgia's certainly facing some difficult challenges, and it seems that every day Georgians are getting up, they're going out, they're looking for a job, they're doing their best, but yet there's still almost 500,000 Georgians without a job. And we're committed here today to do what we can to provide the tools to enable and empower Georgians to be able to achieve that job, that dream that they have. And what we recognize, though, is that you can't empower government. You've got to empower the individuals. You've got to empower businesses. And so here today, we're presenting what we call the Jobs and Opportunity and Business Success Act of 2010, which is going to be a series of proposals that starts a great discussion about what we can do as policymakers to enable the creation of jobs for Georgians. So I'm pleased to say that we have the House and Senate leadership as well as the executive branch involved in this process because we are fully committed to getting Georgians back to work. Regardless of the difficult challenges, we certainly know that Georgians are committed, they're determined to get back to work and to achieve that dream. So we're going to be introducing, and you'll see it first read on Monday, it'll be House Bill 1023 and House Bill 1024 with various components in them. And again, it's to start that discussion. There's going to be a lot of debate as to what is the right process or procedures that should be put in place. But the one thing we're committed to is achieving job creation through a very conservative approach. And that's about empowering businesses, empowering individuals, and again, not empowering government. So House Bill 1023 will involve several components. The first will be what we call the creation of the year for the Georgia entrepreneur. And that again, that is that waiver of startup fees, because when you want to start your own business in Georgia today, and we know that Georgians have that dream of owning their own business, we want to make sure that the state of Georgia is not the first entity that they have to pay. Next, we're going to begin the Angel Investor Tax Credit Program, which provides investment opportunities for those who have the resources to invest in those entrepreneurs, those dreamers of big ideas, and to give them that incentive to go ahead and invest in businesses. And these will be in small businesses, businesses with fewer than 20 employees that we ask that they invest in. And after 2 years of investment in that, they will then receive an income tax credit. Next will be the quarterly tax credit towards unemployment insurance, an issue that we discussed last year, one that was very popular and one that has proven to work, and that is that if someone is receiving unemployment benefits today and a Georgia employer puts them to work and takes them off the unemployment rolls, then that employer will get a credit towards their unemployment insurance tax. Next is a $2,400 tax credit to organizations or companies that hire someone, keep them employed, but they hire those that are the difficult ones to employ, the most difficult to employ, those who have been out of work the longest and those that need the job the most. And as long as they keep them employed for 24 consecutive months, then they will apply and be able to receive a $2,400 tax credit. Next will be the elimination of the net worth tax. Again, something we discussed last year. It was a tax implemented in the 1930s, a tax that penalizes the accumulation of wealth, and we think it's time to do away with that, seeing how we're one of the very few states in the country that still have this tax. And then lastly, in House Bill 1023 will be the reduction of the capital gains tax, cutting it in half, but it will be based on a trigger mechanism, one in which we know that we are in a position as a state to begin reducing that tax. And again, we want to reward success. We want to reward investment, reward risk takers who are willing to invest in projects and companies and people. And when they receive that success, we don't want to be the one that penalizes them. So we'll be reducing that by 50% as the triggers are met. House Bill 1024 will involve the phase out of the sales tax deposit. Again, this is working capital that businesses in Georgia are giving to the state of Georgia. And the state has it on deposit right now, but it's working capital that needs to be inputted back into the businesses so that they can pay their employees, they can buy new inventory, they can expand their business. And then as well, I will be assisting the governor and his floor leader, Matt Ramsey, with a proposal to expand health insurance across state lines. We again think this is another proposal that will encourage new business startup. It will encourage businesses to locate to Georgia, and more importantly, though, it will enable affordable health care for Georgians wherever they choose to purchase it and at the rates and at the policies that they choose. So I'm pleased today to have House and Senate leadership here, and I know that they want to make some comments. And the first I'd like to invite to the podium would be our Lieutenant Governor, Cagle, and I want to thank you for your support of these proposals and look forward to working with you. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you. Very good. Well, thank you very, very much. It looks like we've got a quorum. We can just go ahead and pass the bill now, you know. I mean, this is a a great turnout. It is exciting. I want to obviously commend Representative Graves along with the Senate and the House leadership in their effort to put forward a strong jobs program. It's important that we focus on the unemployment numbers that we see and cast a very clear vision of where we want Georgia to become. And I believe truly in a renaissance within our state. And I think that one of the best ways in which you do that is that you do focus on the incentive side. Government is not a jobs work program. Government is designed to create a level playing field and foster an environment by which jobs can be created. That's why we're looking at the incentive side, and particularly I want to speak just briefly on something that I'm particularly interested in, and I appreciate Representative Graves including this in his package, and that is the angel tax credit. This is something that I think will have great benefit. If you look at where we see great promise for our state, it is in the startup businesses, in innovation, in new technology. And when you look at what's happening in our university system and how many discoveries are coming out of that, we are losing many of those to other states because we can't find the capital. There's really 4 stages of capital that's critical for these emerging technology companies. And first of all, it's seed capital, then it's angel investment, which is typically $100 to about $1 million. And then from there, they actually go to venture fund and then on to institutional investment. What we will be doing is offering a tax credit specifically for those angel investors. And what is so beautiful about it is it's a proven track record that's worked in other states. 21 other states have it, and particularly North Carolina. And as all of you know, that is one of our best areas in which we compete against as it relates to technology. What they have done is they've seen through this incentive an additional 600 to 700 jobs with an average salary of about $58,000. That's the type of opportunity that exists with this bill. Looking at capital gains, we all know that in order to have jobs, you have to have investment. And so we're looking at ways in which we can ultimately give real tax reductions as it relates to capital gains, along with making sure that those that are unemployed are put back to work, giving those employers a greater incentive as well with the tax credit. This is wonderful legislation, looking also at ways in which we can be very proactive on the health care front, specifically bringing more competition with out-of-state vendors. These are huge cost drivers to the impact of getting business done. And so we want to make sure that we continue to be the most pro-jobs environment within our state, that we're business friendly, and that we don't encumber businesses as it relates to undue regulation. So it's an honor for me to be here and to support the efforts of my colleagues and assist them in a very bipartisan way and across both chambers in order to move this issue forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to ask my good friend and the Senate sponsor of this legislation, the Majority Leader of Georgia State Senate, Senator Chip Rogers.
Thank you, Representative Graves. We were in this position last year, and we talked about this legislation, and we were able to pass it through. The governor had some legitimate concerns. We have, since that point in time, Representative Graves and I have met with he and his staff on a number of occasions to address those concerns, and I want to make sure that everyone knows this is a starting point. We don't necessarily believe that the final product will look exactly like this, but it will be focused on 2 things, and 2 things specifically. That is making Georgia the most jobs-friendly state in America and making Georgia the most investor-friendly state in America. We need to send out a message to everyone. If you're a business and you want to create jobs and operate in a state that will reward you for doing so, Georgia's the place to be. If you're an investor and you want to invest in small startup companies and see a great return on your investment, Georgia is the place to be. That message needs to be loud, it needs to be clear, and everyone needs to hear it. You know, a lot of states are sitting around wondering when the economy is going to turn around. We hope to be the state that leads the economy to turn around. You know, somebody's got to do something. This recession needs to be taken head on, and Georgia is going to step up to the plate and say, we will lead the way. We will show you and help you with pro-business, pro-jobs, pro-investor tax structures that can make a difference and put people back to work. And that's what this legislation is designed to do. And I want to thank Representative Graves for his leadership, and we in the Senate certainly are anxious to get to work on it and hope to see it very soon.